Hi, I'm Michelle Minori, a chef and finalist on season 16 of Bravo Staff Chef. I'm happy to be here to support International Medical Corps. The work that they do to help families and communities access nutritious, diverse food is something that's near and dear to my heart. I really believe in the power of food to bring us together, and that delicious, nourishing meals can be made from locally available ingredients. I'm excited to share a dish today that takes advantage of local produce in my community and can be adapted to whatever's in season or in stock around you. We'll be sure to share the recipe with you, so don't worry about taking notes. We hope you enjoy.
I'm here today to make a dish with you that is called Khao Soi. It's a slurpy, crunchy green curry soup. And this is my way of making it, with the ingredients that I found. And I really love this dish because it's really impressive, it's vibrant, it's colorful, it's fresh. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna make a base for our soup. It's kind of just a little curry base. I'm gonna put everything in this blender and blend it till it's as smooth as we can get it. You're gonna add 1 serrano chili. All you wanna do is just take off the stem. But I like the earthiness of serrano and it's not too spicy, so I just put the whole thing in there. The next thing you're gonna wanna add to your blender is some ginger. About a 2-inch piece, so just half of this. So if there's any hard fibrous parts, you can just cut those away. Just cut this so it's flat, easier to work with, a little bit safer. And just cut it into little rings. You don't have to go super fine because the blender will do the work for you. And then I really love garlic. Garlic is pretty typical in curry paste. I'm gonna use 4 cloves. But it's up to you. And just smash it, take the skin off. Just take off the little dry root, just pop that whole thing in there. And now we're gonna add cilantro. We are gonna add almost a whole bunch. So the stems are sometimes the best part of the cilantro. They're really tender, they have a ton of flavor. So throw all the stems in there. And then just keep half of the leaves for garnish later for our soup, and then put the rest in the blender. So we have a little bit of lemongrass, just 1 stalk. When you buy it at the store, it might have a really thick outer layer, which can be pretty fibrous and hard to blend up, so you can discard this. Also, I'm taking off the top bit that tends to be a little dry and fibrous, as well as the bottom, which is kind of the core that holds it all together. Using the back side of your knife, which tends to be a little stronger and tougher, you can cut this into strips. And then this one, I like to cut up a little bit more just to give the blender an easier time. Keeping your knuckles turned in to protect your fingertips. Just cut it into little, almost like a mince. Okay, seems like a lot, but it's gonna go really well in here. And now for all of the spice, which is my favorite part. I already have it all measured out, but I have about 1 teaspoon of ground coriander. We have about 1 teaspoon to 1.5 teaspoons of turmeric. Whenever I use turmeric, I like to put a little bit of black pepper in there too. Kind of helps activate all those great nutrients. So just a little crack of pepper. I have curry powder here. You can use any kind of curry powder you want. Or if you have a curry paste, that would work really well too. Just use a tablespoon. So we're gonna blend this up. I actually wanna add a little bit of salt right now because I feel like it's really important to season in layers when you're cooking. So I'm just gonna start with a teaspoon because we're gonna add some fish sauce and soy sauce later, and we can always add more salt, but we can't take it out. Blend this as high as you can, high and fast. It's gonna turn bright green and you want it to get as smooth as possible. So don't put your face too close to the blender because it is pretty spicy, but it smells so good. It already smells amazing. Now we're gonna cook our base to develop the layers of flavor for our soup. So I just have a medium-sized pot over medium-high heat, and we're gonna add really maybe just 1 tablespoon of oil or enough to just barely coat the bottom of the pan. And as the pot heats up, just swirl this pan around. I also have some water here that's beginning to boil for our noodles. If you want to see if your oil is hot, you can just put a little drop of water in your pan. Okay, it's hot. So just swirl that around. I'm gonna remove it from the heat just for a second. I have electric burners, so I'm always moving my pans around. Gently and carefully pour your curry base into your pot. So this is gonna toast up nice and slow. So just give it a stir, turn it to like a medium heat, and your house is gonna get really fragrant. So just pay attention right now, be really present with your curry base, don't walk away. And really all we're looking for here is for those aromatics to really open up. And the color might turn a little bit darker green or kind of dull out maybe, but that's okay. We're gonna add all of these really amazing ingredients and the flavor is gonna be incredible, and it's still gonna maintain a lot of color and vibrancy. So just a low simmer. So you can already begin to see the difference in the smells. And if you're actually listening with your ears, you can hear the sound of the paste is like changed. It's not as aggressive. That's because a lot of the water has been cooked out. And if you can see, it kind of looks a little dry almost. But this is good. Really just takes like a minute or two. I'm just trying to open that up. So I'm gonna take this off the heat really quick. I'm gonna add, this is 1 can of coconut milk. And again, I try to always be really mindful of the ingredients that I'm putting in. So if you can find sustainable or ethically sourced ingredients like the coconut milk or the palm sugar that we're gonna use. So I just added in 1 can here. I'm just putting it back on the heat, give it a little stir. And then we need to thin this out with a little bit of liquid. So you can use water, or I just have some veggie stock that I made here. So I'm gonna put this in my blender and try to kind of clean my blender with the stock because I want all that goodness to come out. Okay, so just use that vegetable stock to get all of the curry base out. So I'm gonna turn this back up to high just to get this to a simmer. And remember, just keep scraping your pot. Whenever I have my pot on high heat, I'm always paying attention to the bottom just as it comes up, especially when there's like a milk or something creamy in there because you don't want it to scald. We're also gonna add in some macroot lime leaves, which are really so fragrant. A little bit drier because I always keep them in my freezer. But when you find them at the grocery store, at a market, they're usually fresh. So this is like 4 leaves. Just drop those in there. They're gonna steep. They have a really floral, limey aroma. So this is gonna cook for about 15 minutes on like a low to medium heat to really help develop all the flavor, get some nice body, and then we'll pull out those leaves and we'll season it and we'll cook our noodles.